Hello, 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 YouTube Live. Welcome back to the One in a Million channel. This is Eunice here. Oh my gosh, I have missed you guys so much. I have missed doing live videos. I have missed talking to you guys. I have really missed the connection. I have missed sharing like my voice, my ideas, and all the things. If you guys are wondering, I don't know if you can see this, but like why I'm wearing a wet shirt. I have literally dunked my shirt in water. Oh my gosh, it has been so hot around here. And the reason why I haven't been showing up here as much is because it's so warm here in Mexico where I'm living that it is beyond what my body can handle. And we have kind of been pushing off the idea of like getting an air conditioner. And yesterday we made the call to get an air conditioner. Our shipping is not coming until another 2 weeks. Meanwhile, I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to get really creative and innovative, and this is my solution. So if you guys have been wondering like where I've been and why I haven't been showing up, it's because like the heat is just beyond tolerable. The fact that I am sitting here talking to you guys without sweating, it's like it's just a miracle because I'm just like cooled down by a wet shirt. Just bear with me for now. One of the biggest things that I want to be sharing with you guys today, this is like really huge, and I'm coming with you with such like intense energy, and I'm really excited to be talking about this because one of the other things that I felt really called to do in my life is to help heal the ones who feel like they don't matter in the world. This really shows up a lot in my clients who have social anxiety or a kind of anxiety in speaking in front of people or speaking up and sharing their voice. In one of the last videos I shared, I talked about how sometimes we get social anxiety and we get a fear of talking to people because we've been judged, or it's kind of like an emotional trauma that we get from being always often like corrected as a child, or we've been ridiculed, or we got made fun of, you know, when we said something, and then when we asked a question and we've been criticized for saying the wrong thing or that we didn't fit in. And so we've conditioned ourselves to self-correct. Feeling nervous speaking in front of people is actually like a hyper self-correction that is happening in the back of your mind, but it's happening so fast, and there's so many thoughts that are racing in your head that causes like a traffic jam in your head, and therefore whatever it is that you wanted to say doesn't actually get to come out because there's all that like clutter that's stuck in your head. But the other theme that I wanted to talk to you guys about today, and I feel that's even a bigger theme, is the feeling that you don't matter. Like you don't get seen, you don't get heard. You maybe are the kind of person who had to parent yourself growing up, or you had to soothe yourself, you had to calm yourself down, and nobody was really there for you. Or perhaps whenever you try to say something, your voice never gets heard. So this tends to happen with a lot of people who grew up in a family either with a lot of other siblings or a few other siblings, and you feel like you never get your parents' time. You never get like enough attention from people you love, and therefore you just learn to self-regulate, and you learn to just keep to yourself whenever you had anything important to share. Or maybe in a classroom full of like, I remember in my classroom there were like 45 kids, like in every single class, in every grade there was like 6 classes, and each class has 45 kids. And as you can imagine, like in order to have a functional classroom, in order to have like any kind of lesson at all, you know, the class had to be running like clockwork. The teacher had to be really on top of things, and students had to be quiet. And so a lot of times whenever we wanted to speak up as children, as students, whenever we wanted to ask a question, or whenever we just like stood up and wanted to answer a question, but like maybe we took a bit more time to like think of our answer, Sometimes the teacher would say, "Oh, you don't have the answer. Sit back down. Next," you know, or if the teacher has ever said, "You're wasting everybody's time. Hurry up," you know. It's this idea of like, oh my gosh, I can't take up the space here. My presence doesn't really matter here. And even though from a practical standpoint, it's like, yeah, we need to get on with our lesson, the message that gets sent to us is that I'm not worthy to take up the space. I can't take up other people's time. I feel like I don't matter. Or when I have something to say or I have something that I feel that I want to express, there would never be anyone here to hold me and hear me and soothe me and calm me and help me learn to regulate. And so it became like a coping mechanism where we just learn to turn inwards and we stop telling people about how we feel. I see this in a lot of my clients is that when I ask my clients, like, how are you guys doing? How are you doing? How have you been feeling? Oftentimes they don't know how to answer the question. And I was actually quite interested about this. What occurred to me is that oftentimes when we're being asked how we feel, we're like, how do I feel? I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel. I'm not taught to talk about this. As a matter of fact, my language of describing my internal world is so limited because I haven't seen other people doing it. I haven't been taught, like my parents haven't taught me how to express my emotions, how to sit with my emotions and sit with my feelings and slowly and calmly talk about it. And as I talk about it, I'm able to, self-regulate. I'm able to calm down. I'm able to hear my thoughts. I'm able to hear, like feel how I feel, and then, untangle all these knots inside of me. And after decades of this buildup, it's kind of like plaque. Like we don't know how to start dissolving the outer layer of our protection mechanism. And so we only know how to tell people we're good, we're okay, um, I'm doing good, or if people are asking you like, how are you doing? Oftentimes the answer is going to be like, oh, I've been doing this, and then you tend to bring out the activities that you're doing or the things that you have been doing, but you're never really able to like get beyond that. And so this tends to be one of the biggest challenges for people who feel like they don't matter because they have not been brought up in an environment where talking about their feelings and being held for who they are, being held for just how they're being is an important thing. And they've always learned that if I could just tell people what I've done, then I would be worthy. If I have a contribution, if I could bring something valuable to the table, then I would be worthy. But other than that, if I don't have something to bring to the table, if I don't have something to share, if I don't have something that actually really matters or make an impact in other people's lives, then I don't really matter and I might as well just sit back down. And oftentimes, the inability to express your voice and take up a place in a relationship where you share yourself and you invite other people to share themselves, it actually comes from the feeling of like, I don't matter. And what I've also seen this kind of situation doing to people is that because I don't matter, I also don't know how to invite you into the conversation because I don't have this role model, right? Like I don't have someone teaching me what it's like to hold space for people. So if I never been asked, how do I feel, how I'm doing, how can I support you? If I've never been asked that, I also don't know how to invite you into my space as well. And so then it kind of creates like this chicken or egg problem because it's really hard to form a relationship where you are able to give and take from these relationships. I think bottom line, what I want this message to drive home is to help you understand and help you know and feel that you really matter, to help you feel that you are allowed to take up the space, you know, to ask questions, to form friendships, to reach out to people, to tell people how you feel, how your day was, and you're never taking up too much time, you're never an inconvenience to people. Don't let people rush you, and also don't rush yourself. Don't rush yourself to have to finish a thought very quickly, otherwise you're afraid that you're going to lose people's attention. Don't rush yourself to just have to spit something out for the sake of having something important to say. Don't force yourself to say something more, having to sound more significant or important than it actually is. Because the truth is, whatever it is that you have to say and whatever you think is important, it is important. You don't have to inflate the meaning in order for you to earn the space, in order for other people to listen to you. So yeah, I just wanted to create this space where you get to feel so validated. It's like, you know, for all those people who feel like I can't take up space, and you don't even know how to articulate that, you don't know that you even feel this way, this is your place to be seen. And I see you, because I have worked through all these moments of feeling like, oh, it's strange. It's strange that I feel this way. It's strange that I feel like I'm not allowed to raise my hand. I'm not allowed to speak. I'm not allowed to take up more time. I'm not allowed to take my time when I talk. I feel like people are always looking at me when I'm on the stage, just looking for answers, full with anticipation. And, you know, as a result, I always felt like I needed to rush myself. But you never, ever have to force yourself to get something out here, because you are worthy. You are worthy of taking up space just as you are, with the substance you've got, with the ideas you have got. You matter so much. And if no one has told you that, I am here to tell you firsthand that you matter so much. So whatever it is that you feel, whatever it is that you've got to say, however you want to take up space, however you want to express yourself, allow yourself to do that more and take up more of that space and explore more of your emotions and get more of that inner substance out piece by piece with whoever you feel safe with. And I just really encourage you to practice, like hand to your heart, another hand on your belly, and really practice saying to yourself, I matter. I matter. And I feel like I matter. I don't just matter, I feel like I matter. And practice tapping into this feeling and giving this kind of love and validation and acknowledgement for yourself, and then see how that feels. So that is the message I have for you guys today, and I just really hope that this is able to help you open up yourself to a whole new reality. If you guys want to explore working with me or having these kind of discussions further in a one-on-one setting, in a private coaching mentorship type of setting where I've got all my eyes on you, I'm able to hold space for you, then I'll share a link of my website in the description below, and you guys can explore a little further. So thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so much. I'm gonna go back into my hot and sweaty environment. And with that said, I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. I love you.